What's going on, everybody? Today we're back with another YouTube video, and today's YouTube video is based on a promise I made on my short the other day. I don't know if you guys watched it yet, but I was basically giving a email strategy and what I found to be the best email strategy for first outreach message, re-entry emails, or inactive buyers. And I'm saying this because of solely my current results that I've had with the companies and creators I'm currently working with. So that's another great part about this strategy. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what type of industry you're in, it gets the same results, and it gets replies, and it gets opens, and then boom, you can close from there, right? So what is this gate kept outreach email strategy? It is, drum roll please, boom, conversation slash question based email strategy. People have other names for it. I wouldn't really care about the name. It all comes down to if you know how to do it and use it to get results, right? So what it is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just in the name, but what it really is a conversation slash question based email, a short, human, low pressure message built around one clear question, and its purpose is to trigger a reply, confirm relevance, and open the door for follow up conversation. And obviously, it does not pitch multiple products. You don't attach catalogs. You don't want to do things that are gonna lower retention. And the easiest way to think about this email strat is think of it as knocking on someone's door and not just walking in, put the briefcase on the table, and be like, okay, boom, let's go. You don't do that. You never do that. And if you think about it, if you've ever door knocked or if you ever cold called, I don't know who taught you or what you've done before, but I guarantee you've never just called someone on the phone and just hopped right into selling. Like, hey, okay, so I do this and I want to sell you this. Have you ever done that? I hope not, right? Same thing with door knocking. Have you knocked on the door and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, your roof's messed up, let me come fix it? No, right? You got to start a conversation, right? With conversation becomes trust, and with trust becomes higher chances of them trusting you to do whatever the case or buy whatever you want to sell them, right? And that's exactly what you got to do for emails as well. And that gets me ticked off the most is when I come to help a company and I look at their current outreach strategy, and it's like, oh my God, the first message is always pitching something, or it's always trying to, like, you could tell that they're trying to do something. Like, no, please get away from that. Start a conversation, become the guy's friend as much as you can, and then pitch him, because his chances of buying or following through are a lot higher. And moving on, let's go into the psychology of it all, right? So questions create a natural response, right? People feel obligated to answer a question. Like if you're inside a public setting, I remember if you're probably hanging out with all your friends, or even inside class when like the teacher is just talking about the lecture and then all of a sudden he asks you a question, or he asks someone a question. And that's when your focus peaks the most, like, oh my God, wait, what? So it's just like how human nature is. You feel obligated to reply to questions, right? And that's only if the questions are small and short. I know everybody likes a math question because it's like, oh, find X, versus a English question, which is like, oh, in 10 paragraphs, please let me know what Romeo and Juliet is all like. Come on now, nobody wants to do that, right? So low commitment, right? They're easier to reply, and there's no selling pressure. Selling pressure is probably one of the biggest pressures that makes a, or one of the biggest pressures or bigger pressures in an email that makes people hesitant in going through with it, because nobody wants to just give money away. Everybody wants to get money. So a question turns the email from a pitch into a conversation, and that just shifts why response rates are higher. Like if there's a question and I'm having a conversation with a potential person that seems nice and he just asking me a simple question, doesn't hurt me to reply, right? Like I said, once they reply, trust is established, and then we can share info from there or whatever you want to give. So I have some examples, so real life examples. This is, oh, I gotta zoom out now. Let's see. Okay, there we go. First try. Not editing that, but just act like I'm like a Myro demon. So here's it is for real life examples. So this example right here is for a brand new lead cold outreach. This is for one of the companies I work with. It's currently like a wholesale B2B company, and for them, I just helped their sales team, came on board, found their bottleneck, and it was their sales outreach. Hopped on with their sales team, gave them new strategies, and they're really happy since then. And they're just honestly just milking this strategy until they're gonna, I don't know, until they rinse the whole market, hopefully. But that's gonna take a lot of time, so I got a lot of time here. So here it is. Hey, name blank. I noticed you have XYZ on your website and was wondering if you guys still carry this and have stock. So if you remember what I said over here, it's to confirm relevance, right, and trigger a reply and to start a conversation. So if I send out a message like this, first off, you don't think I'm gonna sell you something at all. You just think I'm here to asking a question about stock, right? And then if I'm like a manager or someone, I'm just gonna reply be like, oh yeah, we do have stock. Like, yeah, we do have stock, we have all the colors, we have all this. Like, I'm thinking that you're interested. And then from there, yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can pitch after you. I wouldn't go into a hard pitch, right? But your conversation's open, so go into a slight pitch and then slowly get your point across. But so I have some notes here. I think this one wouldn't apply to you guys, but this definitely does. This way you sneak under their, just another sales slash pitching person radar, and after the reply, you can hit them with the pitch. Here's another strategy for an inactive slash past buyer. This is for the same people. I just created them an SOP around their whole emailing strategy, and I just gave it to them. So this is why I have to cover out a lot of sensitive information. And I even sent out some test emails, like you see, like I signed off, and then they had the company logo for them, just to show them how it's done and how the results should look like. And here's another one. He says, I love this one, outdated info. And I mean, before we even get into it, I'm going to say here, yes, sometimes I know the email and stuff is correct, but I still use this tactic, right? Because it's just so OP. So many people reply, everybody replies. Because I don't know, I feel like if everybody wants to correct you, or something. So I'm always like, hi, blank. I may have outdated information, so I wanted to confirm the best contact for purchasing or for whatever the case may be. And then, is this the correct email for blank purchasing, or should I be reaching to someone else? Right? This is my favorite one. You always get a reply most of the time, at least if you do it right. And then from there, let's say if you don't have the right information now, one, you do have the right information, and two, you can pitch that. You could, easily turn that into a pitch. And then three, even if you do have the right information, they confirmed and just started a conversation, and now you just made an open loop in their mind. And now they're curious on why this guy even initially asked about me or about us in the first place. And then here's the third one. This is another inactive buyer one. It's another product check-in. This one's more of a product check-in. I'm like, hey, Veronica, I wanted to check blank product is still used for blank part or whatever. And is that something the blank handles today or managed by another person, right? Same thing. You just want to confirm the answer, who's the person to pitch, and you just want to reply so the conversation started. And like I said, the whole goal of all these emails and any question-based email is to open a loop in their mind to get a reply, open a loop, and then from there you can do whatever you want with that loop and reply. So some notes that I have about this whole strategy is like, make sure to ask simple and relevant questions. Don't go to a car shop asking about like jeans or something, like it doesn't make any sense. Okay? And it cuts through the noise and gives them an easy reason to reply. You don't want a thick paragraph of a question. Same thing, might as well just send a first pitch, send a pitch in the first email. And you also want to keep in mind that almost any situation can get turned into this type of tactic. So if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, this won't work in my industry, I guarantee you it will. And if you can't figure out a way to implement this in your industry, please just hit me up and I'll help. I could honestly make SOP for you guys as for your industry as well, or give you some examples as well, whichever one you guys want. And then the key is to pick one specific topic and frame it as a question, right? So don't go all around the place with questions. Like you just want to reply just so you can open the loop. So just focus on one specific part. Like in my emails, like right here, all you see is me asking if the information of the contact is correct, right? You don't see me having like the product in the same email as I have the outdated information. No, right? If I want to go just product based, I did this email right here, which I'm like, oh, do you have XYZ in stock? Don't add too much stuff inside the email. Yeah, again, you want to increase retention, not lower it. And then here's the main flow. This is what you got to embed inside your head, right? Conversation first, build trust, then pitch, and then boom, higher conversion probability. That's the whole flow right there. It's super hard to pitch and sell to someone that doesn't trust you. And it is a lot easier to sell to someone that trusts you, right? For instance, think about it. If you were in high school, this is a great example that just came to my mind. If you were in high school, you played a sport, and for your sport, you had to sell candy or whatever. I hated doing this, but I had to for soccer. Who was the first person you went to sell a candy bar? The people closest to you. And why is that? Not just because they're family, because that they trust you the most, and because obviously they're your family, but the trust is there. And if you think about it, who else did you go to? The neighbors that you were closest with, that seen you the most, that trusted you the most, were the other people to buy more. Versus if you were to go down 5 streets and then knock on someone's door, like, yeah, they might buy because you're a kid selling, but they don't buy because of the trust. Which goes to show that people buy based off trust. And how do you build trust over email? Is by trying to engage in the useful conversation and then getting into your pitch. You do this for cold calling, you do this for door knocking, and then please just do it for here as well. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video, and I hope you guys got some useful information. And please, please, please try this strategy out. And if you run into any problems when it comes to making questions or how to follow up, please contact me. You can book a call, you can DM me, do whatever's better, guys. But on that note, take care, everybody, and have a great day.